Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Hello students, welcome to second PUC English online classes. In today's class, let us read the 9th lesson, that is, I believe that books will never disappear. It is an interview with George Louis Burgess. An interviewer is Robert Alfino. Who is this George Louis Burgess and why his interview is taken? Let us see who is George Louis Burgess. He was an Argentine short story writer, essayist, poet and translator born in Buenos Aires. His work embraces the character of unreality in all literature. Character of unreality in all literature. What is unreality? It's imagination. If you see the literature, you can find a lot of concept of imagination. And Alfino, he is also the short story writer, essayist, poet and translator, I said, and who became partially blind at the age of 55. He could not read, he could not write after the age of 55. He became partially blind. It is the disease that someone gets completely blind after after some age. So here George Louis Burgess is also became partially blind after the age of 55. Who is the interviewer? Interviewer. Look at the difference between interviewer and interviewee. Interviewer, one who interviews, and interviewee is a person who is interviewed. Here Louis Burgess is an interviewee and Robert Alfino, he is an interviewer. And Robert Alfino, he is a poet, storyteller, essayist and journalist born in the city of General Pinto, province of Buenos Aires in 1943. His books have been translated into several languages and traveling to give lectures and provide readings of his poems. From 1974 until 1985, he worked with George Louis Burgess, who is considered amanuensis. What do you mean by amanuensis? Amanuensis in the sense an assistant or a person who writes when one cannot write, or he was employed to write from dictations or to copy manuscripts. Since George Louis Burgess could not write, he appointed Robert Alfino to write what he is saying. Once Robert Alfino, he took an interview of George Louis Burgess, and in this lesson we have the excerpts, or we have the chosen extracts from the interview of George Louis Burgess. And here Louis Burgess, he was asked about some of the topics such as the literature, then poetry, then his mother, etc. So here all the concepts are they are covered in the interview. So here Robert Alfino, when he asked about the books, mainly he asked about the books, literature, poetry and about the history and also about his mother and also about the blindness. So, all these the questions which are selected for the lesson are based on these topics. And here Burgess, he shares his views on the importance of books. He shares his views on the importance of books in the era of globalized electronic communication. Dear students, this interview or this lesson, you feel that it is completely related or it is completely connected to our present day situation. Why? Because now the books or literary books are not found anywhere. Only now we have electronic gadgets such as mobile, computers, TV, and all the information we are getting from these gadgets or these electronic items. And here, if you want to read whatever or if you want to refer anything, if you type in computer or in mobile, it's enough. You will get brief information or a piece of information only. If such things are not available, then we would have go back to the books and there we have to search and it might have took a long time. And here, because of these electronic gadgets, we are saving our time and all the information is available in our palm. So, by observing this, Robert Alfino, he is asking Louis Burgess whether the books will disappear. But what is the answer for that? Louis Burgess, he is saying that I believe that books will never disappear, and he tells if the books will disappear, what happens? If the books will disappear, he is saying or he opines that surely the whole history or the whole record of the human history will be destroyed. Why? Because whatever till now happened, whatever happened in the past, everything was recorded in the book and you cannot destroy that until you burn that. Okay? Your electronic gadgets, if they are spoiled, all the data will be deleted or with some it will be corrupted or destroyed, anything. But books will not. They will remain for centuries or for years and years. That's why with that faith, he is saying, Louis Burgess is saying that books will not disappear. Let us see how he had explained in his interview. So, dear students, first have the difference between interview and chatting. Here, interview in the sense the questions are asked by interviewer and the answers were given by interviewee. What is the chatting? Chatting is between it's a friendly conversation between two people or more than two people. So, there is no question answer session, but there will be a common or casual speech. So, this is what the difference between interview and chatting. Think of different situation where people are interviewed. How does it vary from situation to situation? So, here the interview also I said. So, there is also different kinds of interview. For example, interview for the job and interview with the celebrity, etc. So, there is difference. If you go to the job interview, there you will be asked the questions about your field of work or working field. When you interview with a celebrity or with any achiever, then you will ask about his life or his life history, his achievements, his studies, etc. So, here this is the difference between the interviews. So, dear students, have the difference or make it clear the difference between interview and chatting, interviewer and interviewee, and the types of interviews. Okay, fine. Now, let us come to the lesson. How Robert Alfino, he is asking the question one by one about the different topics, and how George Louis Burgess, he is answering to that, and how he convinced him. Let us see. The first question was asked about Louis Burgess's earlier school or his studies. Robert Alfino asked Burgess, What was your first literary reading, Burgess? George Louis Burgess's answer, I believe my first reading was Grimm's Fairy Tales in English version. I was educated by my father's library, perhaps more than by high school or the university. So here Robert Alfino, he asks about his early schooling. For that, what was the answer? Louis Burgess, he tells that his first literary reading was Grimm's Fairy Tale. He did not say that I learnt this story, that story in the school. And also he is saying that he had learnt many things from his father's library, not from the formal schooling or not for the, from the school or from school lessons. In the sense, here he had given importance not only to the formal schooling or whatever lessons taught in the school, but beyond that, from father's library he had selected, or he had he might have taken many books and he might have read, so that he had developed that habit of reading, and so that he could learn or he could acquire more knowledge than whatever he studied from his studied in his school. So this is what the thing we have to notice here is, not only we should not stuck or we should not fix into only one concept or only one type of life. In the sense, if we are going to the school, in the sense, it is not the thing that we should not study or we should not read other books, or we should not indulge ourselves in any other activities or different works or any kind of activities. Here we can indulge or we can make ourselves busy by other readings and other activities in our life. Next, Alfino, he is asking about Burgess's mother. Can we talk about Donna Leonor, your mother? Burgess, my mother was an extraordinary person. I should speak above all of her kindness towards me. I'll tell you a secret of mine. I feel somewhat guilty for not having been a happy man in order to have given her a deserved happiness. I feel guilty. Perhaps I should have been more understanding of her. But I don't know. I suppose that it is true of all children that when our mother dies, we feel that we have taken her for granted, as we do with the moon or the sun or the seasons. We feel we have abused her. For before her death, it doesn't dawn on us. My mother was an intelligent and a gracious woman who, I believe, had no enemies. Alfino, when he asked about his mother, what was his reaction or what was his answer? He respects his mother, and also he feels guilty for taking his mother for granted. And this might have been the experience of all of us. When our mother, she calls us for food, or when she inquires about us, we feel irritated or we feel angry on her and we shout on her. But if she is not at home, definitely we feel the absence of mother, and at that time, if we permanently lose our mother, then definitely we realize the value of mother. Oh, when my mother was there, she was giving to me everything, she was asking me, she was taking care of me, but now no one is there. So this happens in every individual's life. That's why Louis Burgess, he generalizes this thought, and he is saying that we all do that, and he also did the same thing, that he had he was not happy about his not happy because he had not given a care the mother deserved from a son, and he is also saying that he had taken granted for or he had not responded for his mother's pain or her care. And he is also saying that she is a kind woman. He is saying that his mother, she was a kind woman, and also he was proud about his mother. Though he feels guilty about himself, he feels proud about his mother too. Then he is also saying that he was failed to understand his mother. He was failed to understand his mother, his desires and his care or his or her concern. He failed to understand. Then he also generalizes the same thing, that even that happens with all of us. In the sense, to the reader he is, or in the interview he is saying to the audience that it happens with everyone. When some things are with us, we do not realize the value of it. When we lose it, then only we realize the value of that. Same in the case of time also. When we get a lot of time, we think that I can do later, or I can use that time after some time, like that. But when we lose that time, when we are not able to achieve whatever we desire to do, then definitely we will feel or we regret for that. Also this life, now we have the beautiful life, that is the teenage or this youth, okay, and in this age we can do or we can achieve some of the things which are which others may think that it is impossible, but we can do that when we get the time, when we have the courage, or when we have the strength. Everything when we have, we could achieve that. And if we feel lazy at this time, definitely in future we must regret for that. That's why whatever is available with us, we have to utilize it and we have to use it for better purpose. And this is the message that Louis Burgess gives in this interview. And also he tells that my mother was an intelligent and gracious woman who I believe had no enemies. So look at Burgess, how he had opinion, or how he developed his opinion about his mother. In the sense, the mother also should be good, and she must be kind, and she must be a valuable woman. So this is what Robert Alfino he asked about his mother, and Burgess he is saying about his mother to Alfino. Thank you.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.